Friends, just as when a space is enclosed by timber and creepers, grass and clay, it comes to be termed just house. So too, when a space is enclosed by bones and sinews, flesh and skin, it comes to be termed just material form. If, friends, internally the eye is intact but no external forms come into its range, and there is no corresponding conscious engagement, then there is no manifestation of the corresponding section of consciousness. I is intact, but there is no external form. Yeah? There is no corresponding engagement, so there is no contact. Yeah? Then there is no manifesting of the corresponding section of consciousness. What is that corresponding section? I consciousness. So I consciousness does not come up. Naturally, nothing has happened. If internally the I is intact and external forms come into its range, but there is no corresponding conscious engagement, then there is no manifestation of the corresponding section of consciousness. I is intact and forms come. Still, engagement is not happening. So what is not happening really? Craving. Because every link has the craving. I was describing to somebody, you are sitting in meditation, decided your adhikthana, yeah, and still you move your hand. Yeah? When do you realize? At the movement of the hand, you realized I moved. What was the previous phenomena? The craving came to move. Because of that craving, body consciousness arose. As you moved. The more you become aware that the consciousness is arising, you see that first vibration of that craving, that thought. And there itself, you relax. It goes away. How many of you notice this happening in your meditation? A little craving arose to think. Even to think a thought, a little craving arises. There's a little restlessness before a thought arises. There's this little craving that arises. It is not a fully blown thought yet. In your quiet mind state. And you're just relaxing, and it goes. But if you're not relaxing, that craving becomes a fully blown thought. Very clear this is? Yeah? So now we'll read this again. So if the eye is intact but no form, eye consciousness will not arise. Yeah? Because there is no conscious engagement. The conscious engagement is required. Yeah? If the eye is intact and form comes into its range, but again there is no conscious engagement, eye consciousness will not arise. But when internally the eye is intact and external forms come into its range and there is corresponding conscious engagement, then there is the manifestation of the corresponding section of consciousness. Clear? The material form in what has thus come to be is included in the material form aggregate affected by clinging. See, they are always affected by clinging. Affected by clinging is that craving, that thirst that comes up in every of these 5 aggregates. Yeah? In Rupa there is clinging, in Vijnana there is clinging, in Sanya there is clinging, in Vedana there is clinging, and in Sankhara there is clinging. Yeah? This we did earlier in this chapter. The feeling in what has thus come to be is included in the feeling aggregate affected by clinging. The perception in what has thus come to be is included in the perception aggregate affected by clinging. Sanya. Yeah. The formations in what has thus come to be are included in the formations aggregate affected by clinging. The consciousness in what has thus come to be is included in the consciousness aggregate affected by clinging. He understands thus. This indeed is how there comes to be the inclusion, gathering, and amassing of things into these five aggregates affected by clinging.